In a time when the desert stretched endlessly and Mecca stood as a peaceful valley surrounded by mountains, the Kaaba rose at its heart with unmatched majesty. People came from every distant land, not for its appearance, but for its sacred meaning. It was more than a structure. It was a symbol of faith, a place where hearts gathered before bodies arrived. Far away in Yemen, there was a ruler named Abraha, a man consumed by pride and power. He built a magnificent cathedral, decorating it with the finest designs, believing people would abandon the Kaaba and come to him instead. But no matter how grand his creation was, the hearts of people remained attached to Mecca. Their journeys never changed. This angered Abraha deeply. He could not accept that something beyond his control held greater influence. So he made a bold and terrifying decision. He would march to Mecca and destroy the Kaaba. He prepared a massive army, unlike anything Arabia had ever seen. Soldiers filled the horizon, weapons gleamed under the sun, and at the front stood a gigantic elephant, powerful, intimidating, shaking the Alad beneath its steps. It was not just an animal. It was a message. No one could stand against them. News reached Mecca like a thunderbolt. Fear spread among its people. How could they face such a force? How could they protect the Kaaba against an unstoppable army? The answer was simple, yet profound. This was the house of God, and God would protect it. The people of Mecca left the city and took refuge in the mountains, placing their trust entirely in Allah. Among them was Abdul Muttalib, the leader of Quraysh, a man of dignity and calm strength. He went to meet Abraha after his camels were taken. When asked what he wanted, he simply said, "I want my camels back." Abraha was surprised and said, "I thought you would ask about the Kaaba." Abdul Muttalib replied with unwavering faith, "I am the owner of the camels, and the house has a Lord who will protect it." Those words carried a power far greater than any weapon. The next morning, Abraha ordered the elephant to move toward the Kaaba, but something unexpected happened. The elephant stopped. It refused to move forward. They beat it, pushed it, forced it, but it would not take a single step toward the Kaaba. Yet when turned in any other direction, it walked without hesitation. Confusion spread through the army, but before they could understand what was happening, the sky itself changed. From above came flocks of birds, small, yet moving in perfect formation. Each carried tiny stones in their beaks and claws, but these were no ordinary stones. They were sent with divine command. The birds began to strike. Stones rained down with terrifying precision, hitting every soldier. Panic erupted. The mighty army collapsed into chaos. Screams filled the air. Strength, numbers, and power meant nothing anymore. Abraha fled in terror, no longer a proud conqueror, but a defeated man, running from a fate he could not escape. He carried his chest with him until his body finally gave way before he could return home. The battle ended without swords being raised, without armies clashing in the usual way. Yet, it was one of the greatest defeats ever witnessed. The people of Mecca returned and found the Kaaba untouched, standing strong as ever. They realized this was no coincidence. It was a clear message. This house has a Lord who protects it. And so, the story lived on through generations, not just as history, but as a timeless lesson that no matter how powerful tyranny becomes, it will fall. And when God wills something, He can send unseen forces from the smallest creatures to defeat the mightiest armies, because true power is not in strength or numbers, it is in faith.